You are watching the SEC on ESPN as we welcome you to a great atmosphere tonight in St. Louis, Missouri, where this evening we've got the 37th annual Bragging Rights game between the Illinois Fighting Illini and the Missouri Tigers. And good evening, everybody. Alongside Tom Crean, I'm Jordan Burnfield. Glad to have you along tonight for what should be a fantastic game. Tom, every year these two teams circle this one on the calendar, and they're playing it again. The Bragging Rights game, a great tradition before Christmas.
Well, judging from the buzz of downtown from late last night and all through the afternoon, they are ready to go. When they've got the upper deck filled like they do the lower deck, bottom line in this game, no matter what any coach thinks, whether you're overstating or understating, all the players got to put their personal goals aside. How do they come out of here with this with a win?
And one guy that everybody's going to be watching tonight, that's Jeremiah Tillman. Of course, he committed to Illinois last year, but then with the coaching change for the Fighting Illini, now he's starting for Mizzou.
Well, anytime you're going to have a coaching change, it's going to create havoc for one school and a boon for the other. And that's what happened for Missouri. Bottom line is he's better. Jeremiah Tillman is quicker. He's playing both ends. He's playing with confidence. He's a really, really good young player.
Illinois has won 4 straight games in this series, and they are 24-12 all-time here in St. Louis. And the Tigers looking for some payback tonight. They come in with a 10-2 record this season. The Fighting Illini at 8-5 in the first season under 2 new coaches, with the Illini with Brad Underwood and Mizzou with Conzo Martin now in his first season in Columbia, Missouri. Gold and black uniforms for those Missouri Tigers and the Fighting Illini in their standard orange tops as we get set for basketball tonight, and the 37th annual Bragging Rights game is underway. Mizzou starts with the basketball, and this is Blake Harris. He only plays about 14 minutes a game, but 3 assists per contest. One of 3 players in the country that could say that. And they throw right inside to Tillman on the first possession, and he scores over Michael Finke.
Great move by Conzo Martin, wanting to get Jeremiah Tillman going early in this game. It couldn't have worked out any better for him.
Illinois has started a couple of games with Aaron Jordan in that lineup, but tonight they go with Laurent Black as one of their starting 5. Now Tijon Lucas able to save the black, but it's knocked out of bounds by the Tigers.
Pressure on both of these first possessions were outstanding. Hand activity, the coaches have got to be excited based on what they wanted in the walkthroughs today. Great pressure defense to start it out.
10 to shoot for Illinois, and a near steal from Lucas. And now 3 seconds to shoot. Laurent Black from the elbow. Two teams tonight, Tom, with very differing styles in how they want to attack offensively.
Without question, because right now what you want to see with Missouri is they want to get their spacing game going. That pass right there is what Illinois wants to force. They want to force long passes, not quick whip them around the perimeter passes.
Jordan Barnett around to Blake Harris. 3 seconds to shoot now for Mizzou. Harris off target and knocked out of bounds by Puryear. There's Conzo Martin, first-year head coach of the Missouri Tigers, and off to a real good start in his first season at that heralded recruiting class, and a 10-2 start, exactly what you'd like to see.
He's instilling his will early. He's bringing a defensive mindset, and where their biggest improvement has come from the beginning of the year is how well they move the basketball in the half-court offense.
Mark Allstork, the transfer from Wright State. Tijon Lucas spinning into the lane. Can't finish in the second chance, no. And it finally comes out to Harris from Mizzou. Harris will run. Cassius Robertson misses the 3, and the rebound Tillman. Now Kevin Puryear has it knocked away by Tijon Lucas. Mark Allstork off target, and the rebound Barnett. Good pace so far here.
Oh, the pace. We may possibly need some oxygen masks here by the first time out.
There's Brad Underwood, first season with Illinois. Last season, of course, took Oklahoma State to the NCAA tournament the 3 prior years. Wildly successful at Stephen F. Austin. And you know that his teams are going to be very aggressive on the glass, and they want to move that ball.
Well, he's got an intensity level that's big time. And he's trying to get that not only intensity level out of his team, but that emotional level out of his team. That's
Mark Smith, the freshman from Edwardsville, another one of the big recruits for Illinois. Fighting Illini the early lead here in St. Louis. Harris throws it away.
Played right into the way Illinois wants to defend him. They don't want to allow reversal passes. Got him on a turnover when they couldn't reverse it.
And Mark Smith drains the three.
That's what they need from Mark Smith. Shoot it on the way up. Be ready to shoot it. Don't hesitate.
Mark Smith, the 2017 Mr. Basketball out of the state of Illinois. Already 5 early points for the Illini. Now Kevin Puryear for the answer. That's off target, and the rebound comes to Allstork for the Illini. Back out Tijon Lucas, the sophomore. Now one of the veterans on this young Illini team. Michael Finke looking for somewhere to go, and it comes back out Lucas. Lucas, the drive and kick. LaRon Black from deep.
Brad Underwood was all over LaRon Black in the walkthrough today for only playing 4 minutes last year. He's already got 5 points in this early start.
And it's a great crowd here in St. Louis. It always is when these two teams get together. Illinois, a great start against Mizzou. 10-2 the score.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dos Equis. Stay thirsty. Please enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. And Little Caesar, home of the large, hot and ready classic pepperoni pizza for only $5.
They say you don't choose the app chooses you. It can stream the games and shows that I love, and it's there whenever I need it.
The NBA on ESPN. Basketball Battle. Select your character. ESPN.
Well, Christmas is coming in a couple of days, but today is a very special day, and we want to wish you a happy Festivus to you and yours. He's Tom Crane. I'm Jordan Burnfield. Look, we have our Festivus poll, okay? So we did it all right here, and it wouldn't be Festivus, Tom, if we didn't get the feats of strength from you for each team.
I'll play along. Illinois' number one strength is their pressure defense, and they've already got 5 points off turnovers. With Missouri, it's the way that they move the ball. They have not been able to do it yet in this game, but that is what's been the biggest thing for them offensively, is how they reverse and move it to one another.
So far, a hot start from both LaRon Black and Mark Smith, each of them with 5 points apiece. And Jeremiah Tillman, the lone basket for Mizzou. That's why we've got a 10-2 score, as the Illini have ripped off 10 straight points over the last 2 minutes and 51 seconds.
I think we look for something here. They love to come out of timeouts and get into some type of high post screen where they'll roll the screener and probably lift Jonte Porter. They've got to try to get the ball inside. And right back to the screen and roll.
Cassius Robertson, the transfer from Canisius. And that one knocked out of bounds by the freshman Mark Smith.
Illinois is challenging not only every dribble, not only every pass, but every inch of this floor right now. I mean, they are committed to not letting them make easy catches.
Now Jordan Geist, who just checked into the game for Mizzou. Tigers have not scored since the first 10 seconds of the game. Robertson off on a three, and it's knocked out of bounds. It'll go Illinois' way.
You're not going to be able to rebound the ball with one hand, and Missouri's had a couple of possessions where they've tried to do that. Young players have a tendency to do that. Tillman and Porter got to go get man-sized rebounds tonight in that paint.
We saw Jonte Porter into the game. Michael Porter Jr. will join us coming up after the next commercial break, so stay with us. You're going to get to hear from the nation's top recruit. And now Jontay Porter for three from the wing. That's off target. And it's saved by Barnett. And he'll try from deep. Jordan Barnett on the board for the first time tonight.
Jordan Barnett has been hot for the last 5-6 games. He is so improved, and I think he leads the way on this Missouri team with how well he moves without the ball, hence the fact that he chased that rebound down.
Mark Smith, the freshman who's looked real good here early. Now it's Trent Frazier for Illinois. 8 seconds to shoot for the Illini. Smith from way downtown. Off target, the rebound. Kipper Nichols, who lays it in.
That's why you have to rebound the ball with two hands. It sounds simple. It's a lot harder than it seems. And to get that two-hand rebound, go up and score it, that's an upperclassman board right there.
And now Nichols gets the steal. And loses it right to Jontay Porter. And it's picked up by Geist. Geist racing across the floor, and a foul coming up against Mark Smith. That's his first. But we've got the Hawaii Bowl for you Christmas Eve, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific on ESPN, the ESPN app. It's your chance to see maybe the best player in college football, Houston's defensive tackle, Ed Oliver. He leads the Cougars. They're 9-4 against Fresno State. Bulldogs were 1-11 last year, trying to complete the second-best turnaround in FBS history. Kevin Puryear will inbound the basketball for Mizzou. He was kind of the star of this team the last couple of years, but with this heralded recruiting class that's come in, Tom, he's fulfilled a nice secondary role for Cuonzo Martin.
Oh, no doubt about it. It's be a good time to get him involved in the offense right now. Mike Finke is doing a fantastic job of defending him. But now they're looking for that one-on-one in the post.
Robertson tried to get inside, could not. Now Jontay Porter in on the tall trees and can't finish. But Finke stepped on the line out of bounds.
Going back to Puryear, he has done such a fantastic job on this team of showing maturity. The way that he defends, the way that he moves the ball. When you take over a program like Cuonzo Martin did, it's not just the new guys that come in that have got to learn to adjust. It's the veterans like Barnett, it's the veterans like Puryear that they've got to sell his message. And it sure seems to me like that's what's happening for Missouri.
Cuonzo Martin, certainly a coach who breeds toughness, a guy from East St. Louis, and has tried to make his team in that image. And I think he already has, amazingly, in the first 12 games of his tenure. He's got these guys as a pretty tough team.
There's no doubt about it in the sense of the way that he's imposing his will. He wants this team to play both ends of the floor. He wants them to share the basketball. And with the loss of Michael Porter, which had to be just a complete stun for them in so many ways early on, to get them to understand that the star of the team is the team. Right now, Michael Porter is who he is. They don't have a guy on this team that can just take the bull by the horns every night. They need to be able to share it.
The officials right now looking at a clock issue as we see Michael Finke was that at the end of the shot clock. The officials taking a look at that right now. Officials tonight, Ted Valentine, Tony Green, and Terry Oglesby, an outstanding crew.
Well, you've got two referees in Ted Valentine and Tony Green that have refereed the national championship game. I believe Terry Oglesby was in the Final Four crew last year. It's just a matter of time before he moves up in that. Neither coach could ask for a better officiating crew when it comes to three guys that are veterans, that know both leagues, and at the bottom line is they're going to call the game the way the game needs to be called. If it's a foul, it's a foul.
Well, Illinois off to a great start here so far, Tom. And in a game like this, where there's so much emotion and there's so many momentum changes based on the crowd in this facility, if you're Cuonzo Martin, what are you telling your team after Illinois has gotten off to a great start?
Find a way to get the ball reversed. Find a way to get it reversed, get it back into the middle of the floor. Try to get something going downhill, because right now that lane is treacherous. And we knew Missouri would cause some havoc in the paint. Illinois is doing a fantastic job of making everything tough inside of the paint. They've got to find a way to loosen it up.
7 seconds put on the shot clock, and Mizzou keeps. Now let's see what they can draw up here. Jontay Porter, the kick. Geist for three over Finke, and it rolls off out of bounds. Illinois with a 12-5 lead as Jeremiah Tillman checks back into the game. Jonte Porter will check out for the Tigers as Mizzou keeps the basketball.
Watch Barnett on a back cut here. They can set his cut up. Got him.
Inbound goes to Barnett, but it's going the other way. Offensive foul on Jordan Barnett. That's his first. The transfer from Texas does not get the lay-in.
No, and that is a 50-50 call at best right there. Letter of the law, he created contact, but in a game like this, there's going to be all kinds of contact like that.
And there's DeMonte Williams underneath to lay it in. A good pass from Jordan. DeMonte Williams, the son of former Illini great Frank Williams. And now another foul call. DeMonte Williams.
Illinois is doing a very good job of running this cutter right down the middle. And the reason this play is working is because the weak side defender is hugged up on the wing. Illinois is doing a very good job of lifting that wing up, keeping that man engaged, which creates the layup. You've got to get weak side help to stop that layup.
The turnover and the layup good from Trent Frazier. And Illinois rolling here early and an 11-point lead. 9 points off the turnovers. Illinois on a 6-0 run, and Finke inside gets fouled. Jordan Geis picks up his first.
The setup on the ball screen is tremendous. They go high hands on the pick and roll. Jeremiah Tillman needed to have his hands active on the ball. He raised them. Great pass by DeMonte Williams to find Mike Finke on the roll. 2 free throws.
And Mike Finke cannot connect on the first. He's just a 60% free throw shooter, but generally a good shooter as he hits about 35% from 3 and 53% from the field. Mike Finke, a redshirt junior. This team has gone through a lot of change since they had a number of seniors graduate, including Malcolm Hill from a year ago. So Finke, one of the elder statesmen now for Illinois.
Well, it's so important that he play well. He's a spacing nightmare for your 4 and 5s, and he's got to be that for them, whether it's the pick and pop, whether it's stepping back off the handoff. But right now, he is doing a fantastic job of defensively guarding his man and giving help.
Robertson, the feet underneath Tillman, and has it knocked away. Out of bounds to Illinois.
Tremendous job. He makes the pass. He goes up, but they timed it up perfectly. He got the ball back behind his head. That has always got the potential to be a shot that's blocked from the weak side, the man that you can't see coming.
Illinois on his 7-0 run. LaRon Black the miss. The putback no good from Jordan. And then Geist has it step on the line. Yep. It's going the other way. 17-5, Illinois the lead. But coming up next, we're talking to Michael Porter Jr. here in St. Louis. Stay with us.
Whenever Blue Bloods face ranked road tests, it's gonna be a blockbuster.
The most passion, the most intensity, the highest level of excellence in college basketball.
First,
this team has aspirations to win a national championship.
This is a young Miami team that grew up a lot.
Then,
this league has belonged to Kansas.
They know what the press does for this team.
This place is rocking.
This is a sonic blockbuster. Duke Miami at 7, then Kansas, West Virginia at 9. Next Monday on ESPN.
Illinois off to a very good start here in St. Louis, up 17-5 on the Missouri Tigers as we welcome you back. And we are joined by a very special guest. It's Michael Porter Jr. with Tom Crane and Jordan Bergfield. Michael, thanks so much for taking the time. First of all, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Rehab's going real well, and I'm getting stronger every day, and I feel really good right now.
Tell us about your rehab. What are some of the main things that you're doing right now to keep yourself engaged, not only in getting stronger, but in basketball?
Yeah, well, this actually happened a couple years ago, so I have a lot of stuff I got to do from damage from a couple years ago. So I'm doing a lot of core strengthening, a lot of dynamic movements. But in the long run, I feel like it's a blessing. I think I'll be better than I've ever been.
That's fantastic. One thing that I keep pointing out, and as we take a look at your dad, and obviously your dad's here, your whole family's in Colombia, going through something like this, to have your mom, your sisters, your family with you, it doesn't make it better, but it's got to make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my family's everything to me, so to have them here by my side, it's everything.
What's the biggest thing you've tried to help your brother Jonte with, without you being out on the floor with him on a day-to-day basis, not only for preparing for a game like this, but for preparing for what he's got to deal with as a college basketball player? Yeah,
well, I mean, Jonte is such an unselfish player. Sometimes it's to a fault. I mean, to me, he's the best player on the floor out there, so he really needs to be more assertive, and especially on the offensive end. Don't look to pass so much. Get your own sometimes.
Michael, you played with Trae Young in AAU ball. Tell me what it's like to watch what he's been able to do so far this season. He's had an amazing start.
Oh, I mean, I was telling people from the jump, Trae Young's the best point guard in the country. That's one of my best friends, and I'm just so proud of him, and I love to see him doing as well.
Look at these two right here. This is a Peach Jam championship, right?
Yep.
Trae Young said last week that his ability, I had the game with Wichita State, his ability to play in the ball screen is so good, and he credited being a teammate with you as a guy that he could find on the weak side of the floor. Those Mocan days had to be exciting. When did you know that Trae Young had another gear?
Oh, I mean, I knew it from the jump. I mean, he always had flashes where he was great, but he wasn't always the best passer. He was a great scorer, but, I mean, now he's doing both at a super high level, and it's really, really fun to watch.
I think when I look at you and I watch the games and knowing you and knowing what you're going through, for the way you are as a teammate on that bench, I mean, my hat's off to you. You do such a great job of putting your team first. When you're watching a game and you're on that bench, what are you looking at and what are you trying to bring to your teammates?
Oh, well, I mean, I've been with these guys for a while now. We went through summer together and preseason workouts, so I know their tendencies, and I know how good they can be, so I just try to encourage them, and I never really get on them, but I tell them how good they can be and have confidence.
Tell us something about, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, your family has so much connection to Mizzou. Did you say anything special to your teammates before they went into a game like this?
Just, it's the same game. Just no pressure. The point of the game is to have fun and to just go out there and do their thing.
Tell us what it's like. Give us in a nutshell what it's like to be around Conzo Martin every day.
Oh, it's great. It's a blessing for me. I mean, he's really hard on me, but it's something I need. He's a perfect coach for a player like me to help me grow in the areas I need to grow in, and I owe him a lot.
That's great.
Michael, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
Good luck. Keep getting healthy.
All right, that is Michael Porter Jr. joining us here, and really nice to get to talk to him. Obviously, you know that he wishes he could be out on the floor for the Missouri Tigers, but very kind of him to join us here as his brother Jonte has just checked into the game for Mizzou. Illinois with a great start to this one, up 19-6. 10.5 minutes to go here in the first half. And that one knocked out of bounds right in front of us. Take a look at an outstanding recruiting class for Mizzou. And that's why there has been so much buzz around this program throughout the state.
Well, and you look at it, Conzo got the job. Michael Porter Jr. and Blake Harris were committed and signed with Washington. There's a coaching change there. And Michael Sr. ends up coming back home to Columbia. And then Jeremiah Tillman because of the coaching change. And then you had Jonte, who comes at the end of the summer. And in talking to Chris Hollander today about their defense, he gave Jonte, I thought, an incredible compliment. He said he is as good at moving his feet and guarding out on the perimeter as almost anybody on their team. That says a lot for a 6'11", 240-pound player that just turned 18.
No question. Jonte Porter, another really outstanding player in the Porter family. There's 10 in the Porter family, 8 brothers and sisters. So they could all play 5-on-5, and they all can play. So now Mizzou needs a bucket. This is Barnett for 3, no. And the Tigers are 1 for their last 11 from the field now and haven't scored in 5 minutes. Mark Smith in on Tillman, and there's the block. Here comes Barnett to the basket.
What you could see the last couple of possessions, they're just missing open shots.
And a steal by Mizzou. Barnett again. And a foul.
This is where Tillman has improved so much. He moves his feet, great rotation. Jordan Barnett was there to take it, led to the run out. Jordan Barnett makes a tough play by using the backboard, but it all started with Tillman's rotation defensively.
Ball went on Tijon Lucas. And for Tijon, that was his second. And now Jordan Barnett at the free throw line hits the first. Bit of a line change now for Illinois. Trent Frazier comes back into the game with Kipper Nichols and LeRon Black.
If I'm Conzo Martin, the last couple of possessions before they start scoring again, I'm not nervous because it's loosened up a little bit. They're getting good looks. They just weren't knocking them down. Now they've got to string 2-3 stops in a row right here to keep this momentum going their way.
Nichols inside. LeRon Black around two defenders. Black with 7 points here in the first half. Mark Allstar playing tight defense on Terrence Phillips. And an offensive foul. A push from Phillips. Well, New Year's Day, we've got the college football playoff semifinals on ESPN. Number 3, Georgia. Number 2, Oklahoma kick things off in the Rose Bowl at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific from Pasadena. Then, number 4, Alabama. Number 1, Clemson. The Sugar Bowl from the Superdome in New Orleans. Both games streaming live on the ESPN app.
Both teams now committed to pressuring the ball. The play before where all Stork drew the charge was good. Now Terrence Phillips has got to be able to do the same thing on the other end.
There was a kick, and so Illinois will keep. Mizzou's crowd has been into it, Tom, but they need something to turn the momentum here.
Absolutely, because the Illinois crowd smelled it, and they had it, and now Missouri, they're just waiting to get excited again. The black basket took it down a notch.
Trent Frazier into the shot clock, didn't know it, and it's a violation. We're listening to the Mizzou crowd yell M-I-Z-Z-O-U in response to the Illinois I-L-L-I-N-I chants.
Yeah, that's a tough play right there. That's where Coach like Brad is just irate with that because he's got 3 upperclassmen on the floor that have got to remind the freshmen and communicate where that clock is at. You got to start counting it down from 6-5 seconds under and talk to each other.
Now here is Tillman, guarded by Black. Fights his way in and scores.
That is a quick, powerful move by a young guy that has changed his body.
And Trent Frazier, the acrobatic lay-in. So right after Tillman's bucket, Frazier the answer for the Fighting Illini. Now Cassius Robertson, Geist into the paint, and a steal by Kipper Nichols. Nichols for 3. And the rebound comes out to Tillman, who tiptoes the line but stays in. Barnett spinning around Williams and gets it to go. Jordan Barnett, 9 first-half points for the Tigers.
I love how he used the backboard on that move. He made the layup earlier off the glass where some would have finger rolled it. He did the spin, used the backboard. That's a veteran play.
And now Frazier, the off-balance shot, no good. Jonte Porter knocks it out of bounds, and it'll stay with Illinois.
Jeremiah Tillman has gotten so much better. He catches the ball, he puts it down, the crab dribble, the power move, explodes up over 2 defenders, bucket.
Try Degree Ultra Clear Black Plus White.
saves your white clothes from yellow stains and black clothes from white marks. Still with 48-hour sweat protection. Try Degree Ultra Clear Black Plus White. It won't let you down.
This car came out and I had to jump out of the way.
Hey, at least your taxes are free.
What?
With TurboTax Absolute Zero. At least your taxes are free.
You're throwing a rope to me?
No. At least your taxes are free.
Oh! That is a silver lining!
He gets it. Did you see that sunset last night? I did.
Intuit TurboTax.
Illinois off to the 23-14 early lead. Let's have Tom Crean take us inside the play.
Well, this last play in the side of the zone where Illinois got their last basket, we'll circle right here where we have Tillman and where we have Porter, and we have LaRon Black. What happens is the ball gets reversed. All right, they flash in with Nichols. Black drops. You've basically got two people, all right, one person guarding the ball. All right, nobody matches up with Black on the bottom. Porter ended up watching the ball, not matching up on the bottom. You've got a basket. It's a freshman mistake, but it's one that can't happen in a game like this.
And now a freshman in DeMonte Williams will inbound it for Illinois. Fighting Illini, shooting 48% from the field so far. And off to that 9-point lead here in the first half of this bragging rights game. Feed down low for LaRon Black. And now Trent Frazier for three. And the rebound, Barnett. Harris will push. Nice feed underneath, and Puryear able to finish. First basket of the game, Tom, for Kevin Puryear.
Well, it all started with Blake Harris, and sometimes speed can be a great disguise for lack of technique. And that wasn't a picture-perfect passing play, but by him getting downhill, creating a couple people to defend him, he found the wide-open player underneath for the basket.
Ron Black, the feed to Frazier, the left-handed hook, no good.
The rebounding is picked up for Missouri. They're more aggressive to the glass, something that Brad Underwood was completely concerned about today.
And an offensive foul on Missouri. That's on Jonte Porter setting the screen.
Very good setup. Boy, I'm not sure. I am not sure. Yep, maybe a wide base. Maybe he didn't give him a step. But in a game like this, that didn't look like a bad screen to me.
And now it's Illinois basketball as a result. Under 6 minutes to go here in this first half of play. DeMonte Williams has it swatted by Porter. Out of bounds to Mizzou. Jonte Porter, after taking the foul call, gets the block on the other end.
This is what we were talking about with Michael. Chris Hollander today said Jonte Porter may guard as well as almost anybody on their team on the perimeter. That's a great job of switching, using his length to block the shot. That's rare for a freshman that size to be able to do that effectively.
And how about the fact that he came back down the floor and made that play and a travel on Tillman. Tillman trying to get into the lane and took an extra step. Illinois hanging on right now to a 7-point advantage, but they have not made either of their last 5 field goals. This is LaRon Black, and he scores right over Tillman.
That was good in the way that they created a one-on-one, which is where Black is at his best. He didn't have to play in any traffic on that play.
Blake Harris running into the lane, but cannot finish underneath. Aaron Jordan to the corner for an open Mark Smith.
Mark Smith, when he gets his feet set, shoots it on the way up. I watched it all last year at Edwardsville High School. He can really shoot the ball when he shoots it on the way up.
Mark Smith, 8 first-half points in his first bragging rights game. And now Cassius Robertson can't answer the three. Barnett the rebound, no. Tillman going for it, and it comes out to LaRon Black. Smith again. Too short. Well, that would have got this crowd in orange going nuts. And now Harris almost lost it. Illinois wants a travel called. And Brad Underwood in talking to Mark Smith and Michael Finke trying to pump those guys up. Yeah, nobody touched the ball there, Tom.
Absolutely. No, that's a tough one right there. That's a tough one.
So Porter will inbound it here for the Tigers.
Yeah, Missouri got a break. They've got to capitalize on this here.
Jonte Porter in the post. Tries to get around Black. Cassius Robertson the kick, and an offensive foul. How about Michael Finke with the positioning and the foul on Cassius Robertson, and it takes us to a timeout on the floor where Illinois cruising up 28-16 on Mizzou. All right, thanks, Kevin. 28-16, Illinois the lead on Mizzou. As you take a look, there's the Mizzou section over there with the gold and black. And then on the other side of the floor, all orange and blue. And those are the fans of Illinois. You got to love it when you get a game like this, the bragging rights game, the 37th annual meeting. These two teams have been doing this since 1980, and every year the atmosphere is just awesome.
Well, it's tremendous to be here. And one thing I learned a long time ago as a head coach, Al McGuire told me that when he would go into the arena, he would look up into all four corners. And if all four corners were filled, he felt like he did his job. Both coaches should be proud because I don't see any of the empty seats up there, whether it's Mizzou or Illinois. This place is really, it's bedlam tonight. It's great.
Well, you have two new coaches, and you've got some big-time recruits, and they've added some buzz to this game this year, I think. And so it's certainly been a fun start so far in Illinois with a 12-point lead on Mizzou. Tigers have not scored in about 3 minutes of game action.
And they've come out in a zone to try to get them out of rhythm.
Comes out Trent Frazier for three. That's off target. Finke the putback.
Rebounding again. The second shots. Right now, Missouri has got 14 turnovers, which has been 14 points for Illinois. They've got 1 assist, but they've given up timely second chance buckets by not only the baskets, but by keeping balls alive.
Now Jonte Porter looking for somewhere to feed it, and it comes out to Terrence Phillips, the junior out of Orange County, California. Nice pass underway, and there's Barnett for the slam. Jordan Barnett, the senior out of St. Louis, with a big dunk, and maybe that gives Mizzou some momentum. Well, LaRon Black will stop that right there. He's had a real good first half, Tom. 11 points for LaRon Black.
Oh.
And now a steal by Frazier. Back the other way come the Illini. And Black is fouled on the way up.
The penetration, one thing that Jordan Barnett is so good at is playing out of the corners, getting behind the defense. As you see him start to drop, they lose sight of him. He makes the back cut, dunk. Great pass from Phillips, kept his head up on the wing, drove it, but Barnett made the whole play by getting him behind the defender.
Jordan Barnett, a very athletic player, played a season under Shaka Smart at Texas, then transfers over to Mizzou, and now one of the starters and one of the leaders of the Tigers. LaRon Black, though, the redshirt junior out of Memphis. This guy was the leading returning scorer and rebounder for Illinois going into this year, but that's because there were 3 seniors that graduated, and so far Black really leading the way for the Illini as he connects on both free throws and has 13.
Well, he's leading the way defensively tonight, too. He is doing a great job of creating pressure on the ball, guarding his man, which is allowing that denial defense that Brad Underwood wants to employ. It's allowing it to really come to life because of the pressure that Finke and Black are playing with.
If you're wondering about that bandage, by the way, on LeBron's face, it was from practice yesterday. He got banged up. And so no real issue for LeBron, playing through it. And Barnett with 2 opportunities, but cannot connect.
Barnett needed to use his left hand there. He can't shoot that with his right hand.
Mark Olstorff goes in and scores.
They have made the game so much of a challenge right now for Missouri to get anything clean.
And now Harris the miss. And a foul coming up.
Great pass ahead. All-Star does a great job of getting by the defender, squaring his shoulders to the backboard, using the board. That's a really good play.
Mark Olstorff just got his first bucket. And Illinois in great shape here with 1:38 to go in the first half. Tom, we all know a lot of eyes have been on Jeremiah Tillman tonight, who of course committed to Illinois and then reopened his recruitment, ends up as a starter for the Missouri Tigers. What have you thought of the way that Tillman's looked in this game?
Well, I think he's played with great power, but I want to go to what Illinois is doing right now. We were at the walkthrough today. It was an intense walkthrough. It was basically a practice, and Brad kept teaching toughness. He made a point that Missouri fights each other for rebounds, and that we're going to have to get guard rebounds. We're going to have to lay the wood on them. All right, I'm quoting Brad now. They're laying the wood on them right now in this first half.
They sure are, and Cassius Robertson connects on 1 out of 2.
Tillman has definitely risen to the intensity level of this game, and I think if anything, they've got to go to him more.
Trent Frazier, the jumper off target, the rebound goes to Tillman. And now Mizzou back down the floor. 80 seconds to go in the half. Barnett for 3, and Mizzou needed that. And quickly ahead, Trent Frazier. But it brings us to a timeout. We'll be back in 30 seconds here in St. Louis, where Illinois is up 14.
All right, now that was a timeout.
Illinois up 36-22 with 1:13 to go. Why did Brad Underwood call that timeout?
Well, you've got a 36-19 lead, and you've got a freshman comes down and takes a pull-up jumper he could have got at any point in time. What happens with young players too many times, they want to embrace the success, right? Let the ball find energy. What Illinois is doing a great job of moving the ball, getting layups. You don't need a pull-up jumper there, and I think he's making that point.
And now we'll see what Underwood was able to draw up for the Illini as we trickle under 60 seconds. Trent Frazier for 3. Got it!
That was a rhythm 3. They switched it out. The hands were down. All right, like Mark Jackson says, hand down, man down. Man down, hand down. Whatever it is. He was right.
Robertson underneath to Tillman. It's off his foot, out of bounds. And the fans in orange making themselves known here in St. Louis. About a 2-second difference between the shot and the game clock. Mizzou with 16 first half turnovers.
They'll spread this out, probably run up into a high ball screen, get 3 people spaced along the perimeter, and let Frazier try to make a play with enough time to potentially get an offensive rebound.
2 seconds left on the shot clock. Frazier, the 3. And it brings us to halftime. Frazier, back-to-back triples. And Illinois is up 20 at halftime here in St. Louis at the Bragging Rights game. The young guys for Illinois. How about Trent Frazier in the first half, Tom? 10 points.
Well, he responded in such a good way, and we knew that they wanted to switch, and he has made them pay for that switch.
Our score here at halftime, it's Illinois 42 and Mizzou 22. The Illini rocking and rolling. Let's head back to the studio. Kevin Connors will take you now. You are watching the SEC on ESPN as we welcome you back to the Scottrade Center, where Illinois has a 20-point lead on the Missouri Tigers here in the 37th annual Bragging Rights game. And we welcome you back alongside Tom Crean. I'm Jordan Burnfield. Glad to have you along. It was a great first half for Illinois. The Fighting Illini shot the ball well, and they built this 20-point lead with Trent Frazier making the exclamation point, Tom. Had two big threes at the end of the half.
Well, he really did. They came out of a timeout. They ran into their ball screen action, which we knew Missouri wanted to switch. The switch came out. Jordan Barnett switched, but the hands are down, and Trent Frazier rose up and shot the ball. And then they come back down at the end of the quarter, at the end of the half, get the pick and roll. Tillman switches out, pull him back again. Hands are down. Frazier's in rhythm, knocks down two jumpers from deep. But the whole key to Trent Frazier's jump shot, shooting the ball on the way up. And that's exactly what he did in both those situations.
Conzo Martin's team, 16 first half turnovers. And Illinois able to capitalize with 21 points off those turnovers. And Illinois led for the last 15 minutes and 25 seconds of the opening half, following Jeremiah Tillman scoring the first basket of the game. But he's only got 4 points in this one so far. Second half begins, and quickly a whistle and a foul coming up. Ron Black picks up his first personal. Kevin Puryear and Jonte Porter, 2 points, 1 of 5 from the field in the first half.
Well, they've not been allowed to let anything happen for them easily at all when it comes to Illinois defense, whether it be Finke, whether it be All-Star, especially LeRon Black. They've done a great job taking them out, and those two are going to have to be not only factors scoring, but they're going to have to rebound the ball.
And now Robertson, the kick to the corner. Blake Harris for three, no good. And the rebound tips around, and it's loose on the floor. Mizzou's got it. And now Cassius Robertson for three, and that's off target. But Puryear there for the rebound. Robertson all the way in. Cassius Robertson with a big bucket to start the second half for Mizzou.
The aggressiveness of this defense, keeping those shots alive. They took the long closeout, the shot fake, drives it to the basket. Fantastic job. What I liked about it is he missed the jumper the time before, but he didn't hesitate when he got the ball back.
Well, Cassius Robertson, a great three-point shooter. He's had 4 games already this season with 5 threes or more. But Cassius Robertson gets a three-point play the old-fashioned way, and now Harris the dunk. A 5-point swing for Mizzou to start the second half. And now Blake Harris called for a technical foul.
Well, I think he got him potentially taunting here after the bucket. And Ted Valentine, don't play that. And the bottom line is that these referees are going to make sure that they've got control of this game. And they're not going to let anything slip. And that's a tough play right there because Missouri has come out with tremendous intensity and energy this half.
So Mark Smith at the free throw line and can't connect. But Tom, if you're the coach and your team is trailing by 20, they go on a 5-0 run and then there's a technical foul, how would you handle that with your team?
Well, right now the technical foul is going to rile up his fan base, which is not a bad deal inside of here. Yeah. He caught him talking. That's an easy call for the official to make. That is an easy call. You can't do that. You can't have that kind of conversation. Any referee that's worth his salt is going to make the same call.
Well, prior to that technical foul, Tijon Lucas Picked up his third personal foul, so that's something to watch for Brad Underwood here early in the second half.
Sure, and Illinois has got to play the game with their mouths quiet because they won't allow anything on that end.
And now you're seeing where this rivalry gets more and more intense. And Blake Harris is called for his second foul. What do you think?
Tough call. Tough call. I saw a jump ball. They didn't. But the bottom line is he's got to keep his poise. He can't react to the officiating. You asked me what Missouri needs to do. There is a lot of game left. They need to get the ball down the middle of the floor for their ball screens so they can get their drive and kick game going. And they can't forget about Jeremiah Tillman inside.
LaRon Black misses the dunk. Oh boy, he had a wide open dunk and couldn't get it to go. Robertson for three. And the rebound to Allstorp. And that one thrown behind Tijon Lucas out of bounds.
Casual. Very casual pass. A fifth-year senior like that, he's got to know better than that.
And a timeout taken by Brad Underwood in Illinois. They had a 20-point lead, but Mizzou building some momentum early second half. (43-27), Illinois the lead. Just underway in the second half. The fourth annual NBA on Christmas Day tradition continues for the best gifts anyone could ask for. How about this? Noon Eastern, Sixers Knicks on ESPN. Then at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC. NBA Finals rematch, Cavs Warriors. 5:30, Wizards and Celtics. And in the finale, it'll be the Rockets and the Thunder in OKC. All 4 games available on the ESPN app. Mizzou a little momentum as we start this second half. They were down by 20 to begin this final stanza. And now Terrence Phillips driving on Allstorp and a foul on Mark. Allstorp with his first personal. Tijon Lucas coming out of the game for Brad Underwood with 3 fouls. Allstorp, the transfer from Rice State, where he was a first-team All-Horizon League selection just a year ago. But he's had a slow start today, just 2 points on 1 of 3 from the field.
Look for the cross screen into Tillman.
There is Tillman.
Great pass.
Cross court to Robertson. Hits the 3.
Wow, was that a great pass. Brought the double down. He skipped it across the court to a wide open 3-point shooter.
Now it's just a 13-point game. LaRon Black. Short. And the rebound to Robertson. Robertson off on the 3, and it pinballs around to Tillman, who lost the handle, but Barnett gets it. Mizzou on an 8-1 run to start the second half. Through the screen, the kick, Barnett. Off target on the 3, and Allstorp there to get it. Allstorp to the bucket, and a block by Barnett out of bounds, and it'll stay with Illinois.
Jeremiah Tillman catches it in the post in a cross screen. The shooter is all the way in the corner. They lift everybody up. All right, the double team comes. He never drops the ball, looks weak side, kicks it out. On time, on target pass, wide open 3. That is a major league play for a freshman big man to be able to make, especially in an environment like this.
And, Tom, they need to get Cassius Robertson hot. He's got 8 points, but he's 1 of 7 from 3. That was his first make.
Well, they wouldn't let him breathe in the first half, and then he started trying to drive every closeout.
Now Aaron Jordan fouled going to the basket.
This is something Aaron Jordan, if anybody would have told us at the beginning of the day, Illinois will be up 20 at halftime and Aaron Jordan wouldn't have a point, we wouldn't have taken that bet.
Yeah, right. Aaron Jordan is second on this team in scoring, 12 points per game. And he's second in the nation in three-point shooting so far this year. He is shooting a 60% clip from deep this year, Tom.
Wow, and he was 84% free throw shooter going into that shot. But at least they got him fouled. He has done such a great job. Brad Underwood just raves about the work ethic. He made a point today. He said he usually has his workout in by 7 a.m. every morning. And we're not talking about his practice. We're talking about his workout to get better. That's the kind of dedication that allows you to have those kind of numbers.
And now Jordan, the steal underneath. And a tie-up. And possession arrow will send it the other way. Aaron Jordan, you said, getting up to have his workout finished at 7 in the morning. I was never up before 7 in the morning at college.
I don't believe that.
Maybe one day a week for the radio shift.
Yeah. There had to be things. Well, you're probably working all-nighters somewhere, doing games, doing radio stations.
That's true, yeah.
You were perfecting your craft, too.
And now Jordan up to Kipper Nichols. And LaRon Black catches between two defenders. Goes in on Nico. Too short in the rebound to Barnett.
There is nothing easy to be had in that post right now with Kipper Nichols.
And a near steal. Jonte Porter on the ground with it, and now a foul is called. It'll be LeBron Black to pick up the foul. But Illinois up 14 in St. Louis.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Mizzou, 15:54 to go here in the second half. Time to go inside the play with Tom Crean.
Well, we're going to actually go inside the player right here with Jonte Porter. The last couple of plays, he catches the ball, all right, and he's looking for Barnett. He thinks the back cut is there. The pass is too high. It's behind him. He shows some frustration in this. Jonte Porter is a special player. Illinois knows that. They come down. They're bringing the traffic. They're bringing the hands. This is where a teammate, an older teammate, has got to come in, help him get that breath, settle in. They're going to need Jonte Porter to win this game.
So far tonight, 9 minutes for Porter, 0 for 2 from the field, and 3 turnovers as Mizzou controls. And a foul coming up away from the ball. And that'll be DeMonte Williams, his second.
But he's in a tough situation there. He's obviously given up size. He's not giving up any heart. He's not giving up any heart. He's in there fighting him. They came to fight tonight, and I mean that with all seriousness and all respect. And that's just a tough call. It's very hard to turn around and try to guard somebody like that, especially when you're fronting.
And now Kipper Nichols picks up a foul. That is his first, and the Illini piling them up. Here to begin this second half. Already 6 fouls. Barnett underneath, and a foul again on the Illini.
We had a rule.
Nichols.
we had a rule, if we could get in the bonus at the 12-minute mark of each half, it was going to be really, really hard to lose outside of other things that you did. Missouri is well on the way to having that happen for them right now with the way that they're attacking the rim. If they're in that bonus at the rate it looks like they're going to be, and they get a chance to set their defense by going to the foul line, that definitely plays into their hands as we go down the wire in this game.
Yeah, I mean, 7 fouls already against Illinois, and so you're already in the bonus. And this, like you said, it could be a huge turning point for the Missouri Tigers. As Barnett cans both, he's got 16 tonight. Frazier, the drive, no, Finke fouled on the second chance. Kevin Puryear will pick up his first personal foul. And Michael Finke to the line.
Watch the handoff to Frazier. He goes to the rim. He takes a tough shot, but he really had nowhere else to go with it. They forgot about Finke on the blockout. That's why dealing with the high post and playing out the elbow, for a guy like Finke that can catch it in play, can step back and shoot, and is aggressive as a rebounder, is a really good offense for this Illinois personnel.
Michael Finke, 6 points tonight. Now 7 and 3 of 4 at the line. Mizzou back down the floor, down just 14, but they haven't had a field goal in almost 3 minutes. Blake Harris trying to change it. And a foul.
Blake Harris is a downhill player. He's got great speed. As we said earlier, sometimes speed can make up for lack of technique. But he gets down the rim, he uses his wiggle really well to create the separation once he got by the screen, uses the board to shield the defender. He's rewarded with a free throw. That's going to be a huge part of their game going downhill, or going in the second half, of getting Blake Harris to go downhill.
Blake Harris, such great speed, but cannot complete the three-point play. In Illinois, the rebound to Finke. And now Frazier across for the Fighting Illini. Michael Finke for 3. Off target, and the rebound to Kevin Puryear. Aaron Jordan comes all the way up to the corner to guard Blake Harris. Inside, Jeremiah Tillman, and he got stuck by the rim. Frazier. But a foul coming up underneath. That Valentine all over it as Jeremiah Tillman now picks up the foul. Tried to go for the dunk on one end and got the rim.
Now, the foul was definitely there, and they were bailed out because that is not a good shot by Frazier. He's driving, his intentions are good, but he's got to get the ball higher off the board. You can't go in there and take a hope shot, hoping that it goes in. You've got to take a shot in that situation that gives you a better chance to not only make it, but to rebound it. They were bailed out with the foul.
And now we'll see what Illinois does with that second chance. Trent Frazier tonight, 10 points for the Illini, hit a couple of threes at the end of the first half.
We'll see if they switch this again like they did the end of the half. Nope, not that time. Maybe adjustment.
The feet underneath, Laron Black couldn't handle it. Now Phillips around the Porter screen. Barnett for 3. And Jonte Porter the rebound and then threw it away. He thought there was going to be someone in the corner there for him, Tom, and there just was nobody there.
Well, and that's one where Barnett has got to shot fake it. It's a running closeout. He's a very good shooter, but I'm not sure Klay Thompson would have shot that one. He might have broke that down as well. I mean, you've got to get the next pass off of that and not take the challenge shot.
And a steal. Courier takes it away. Phillips, the bounce pass down low to Robertson.
We talked in our pregame meeting today that a veteran like Terrence Phillips could have a real impact in this game.
And now a strong move to the basket, and Frazier draws the foul.
This is a veteran. He played with his head up. A great bounce pass to a sprinter on the wing. Robertson does a great job of getting to the other side for the layup. Terrence Phillips has just given them very, very solid minutes, and that's exactly what you want. And he's getting the handshake, the hug from Conso Martin. That's important.
Yeah, Jonte Porter, you take a look. He looks to be a little bit in pain. He's limping a bit as he got to the bench, and we'll have to keep an eye on Jonte's health for Mizzou.
No doubt, because they're going to need him. They're going to need him in a lot of ways. They're going to need him to play with confidence. They're going to need him to rebound the ball and get back to being that defender that can do different things, especially if this game gets close in the direction that it's heading now.
Jonte Porter now limping to the locker room with the training staff. So we will watch and update you as we find out his status. There's his brother Michael, who, of course, may be lost for the season after that back injury in the opener against Iowa State. Tejon Lucas checks back in. 3 fouls for number 3.
Well, looking ahead now, if Jonte is out, they can play with this lineup, their starting lineup here, for a bit. But then, all right, they may have to go small to defend this team and see if, and that's where they may be able to put a smaller guy on Finke.
Harris gets in around Allstork. Blake Harris now with 6 points. And Illinois back down the floor. They don't have a field goal in the second half. All 6 of their points have come at the free throw line. Mark Smith, the kick. And now Finke leaves off Tejon Lucas. 6 to shoot for Illinois. Lucas lost the handle, but it's out off of Mizzou. Four seconds to shoot for Illinois. Allstork.
Watch the run out ball screen. Oh.
Finke now. 2 seconds to shoot. The jumper from the elbow is good. Michael Finke.
Goodness. 6'11". Shot fake. Put it down. He looked like he'd been in the guard drills today.
Illinois back up 12. Harris with 10. Robertson into the paint and puts it in.
That's their offense. Drive it baseline, kick it to the corner, swing it to whoever's in the slot. Right where they find Robertson. Great heads-up pass by Barnett to find him, and he makes the drive. That's how Missouri's been winning this early season.
And the Tigers have cut the halftime deficit in half. 10-point Illinois lead. Laron Black in on Tillman. Laron Black with 15 to lead Illinois. Harris. Robertson, the kick to Barnett for 3. He's fouled. Mark Smith fouls him, and that's going to be 3 shots. Coming up, the freshman Mark Smith with his second personal foul. But Illinois still with a 12-point lead.
Well, if you're going to try to stop Laron Black, you cannot play him and allow him to attack with that foot. You've got to step into that foot, challenge that shot quicker.
52-40, Illinois the lead on Missouri with 11:27 to go, second half of the 37th annual Bragging Rights game with Tom Crean, Jordan Burnfield with you. Brad Underwood's Illinois club 2 for 10 from the field this half, and as a consequence, Mizzou has been able to shave 8 points off that 20-point halftime deficit.
Well, they've turned them over. They've got 7 points off turnovers this half alone, and Missouri's doing a much better job. It started in the first play of the half. They were able to get the penetration and kick game going. They were able to swing it from side to side, and it gave them some movement. But they've really turned this game around by bringing the pressure defense that they were having done to them in the first half. They're bringing it to Illinois.
Santa's digging it, I can tell you that.
I think he's just digging it. Do we have any idea who he's for?
I don't know, but he's got the great glasses. He's here on Festivus.
I know he's here for everybody. Santa's here for everybody, but something tells me he's got somebody he's rooting for tonight.
Yeah, I think so. But he has been dancing pretty consistently throughout the game, and I didn't know that Santa was so concerned about maybe his Snapchat or whatever he's got the phone out for.
As much airtime as we've given him, his billing rates have definitely gone up for his next party.
That is definitely true. Jonte Porter is back into the game for Mizzou, so good to see Michael, his brother, talking things over with him. He went back to the locker room a couple of minutes ago and was getting checked out. It was limping as he went to the locker room, but I think Mizzou fans taking a sigh of relief that Jonte is back on the floor.
Oh, sure. Now one of his teammates have got to say, give us that face, give us that face of intensity. Everything's going to be fine. We need you. And very, very impressed. I mean, Jonte Porter just turned 18. He should be a senior in high school.
Yep.
And he's out here in the bragging rights game, and it's affecting Missouri that he hasn't had a good game yet.
Jordan Barnett sinks the first free throw. He's got 17. But when Jonte Porter went to the floor there, Tom, that's where he seemed to not be feeling so well.
He did. He lost his footing. He took a hard hit. It affected him, but it's good to see him back in the game.
Jonte watches as Barnett hits the first 2 free throws. Mark Smith, a foul on a 3-point shot before we went to break. And all 3 go for Jordan Barnett. And now Mizzou's got it within 10. And how about Blake Smith there, or Blake Harris rather, on the steal, but then Illinois able to retain.
Well, big possession for Illinois, because coming out of that timeout, I'm sure Brad Underwood is completely aware that the next foul puts them in the bonus. And with Missouri already in the bonus, it's going to be important that they're playing the game from the foul line as well. Let's see if they go inside.
Tijon Lucas tried to get it inside for Black, couldn't handle it.
Tough pass. Got to give him a much better pass than that.
Tried to slip that over the defender.
He did. He did. Let him have time. He had Mark Smith at the top. They could have gone high-low out of that.
Now Harris driving in. Ran out of real estate. Gets to the corner for Porter. Barnett for 3. Allstork the rebound. Allstork in on Barnett. Facing a double team. Gets it out to an open LaRon Black.
Money. That's his shot. Whether it's a catch and shoot, whether it's a pick and pop, whether it's the handoff and step back, LaRon Black is a tremendous catch and shoot short range shooter.
LaRon Black, 17 points for the Illini to lead them in scoring. And now Harris. Way off on the shot. LaRon Black the rebound. And Tijon Lucas with an elbow on Harris and an offensive foul. That's 4 on Tijon Lucas.
Great recovery by Blake Harris in that situation to take the shot, get back in front. I thought he went down early, but they caught him on the forearm. The forearm is the dead giveaway. And you can have a little wiggle room with going early if that forearm gets extended, and that's exactly what happened there. I know Brad Underwood didn't like it, but he extended the forearm too far out.
Happened right in front of the official, too. There's the kick. There's Robertson. Off on the 3. Phillips the rebound. In the paint and has it swatted away by Allstork.
That's nice where veterans got to bring the ball back out, take the possession. Don't try to force the pass inside.
Under 10 minutes left in this year's Bragging Rights game.
Same play they ran the time before.
Black in the post. Doubled. Kipper Nichols with one on the shot clock, and he runs out of time. Mizzou may still be down by 11, Tom, but the momentum is all with the Tigers right now.
It is, and this is where the Illini team has got some veterans on the floor. They've got to come together a little bit, especially on this end. But the pressure has definitely got them uncomfortable for the entire half.
They go inside to Puryear, and Kipper Nichols got an arm in there. Aloha, we've got the Hawaii Bowl for you. Christmas Eve, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app. Your chance to see maybe the best player in college football. That's Houston's defensive tackle, Ed Oliver. He leads the Cougars against 9-4 Fresno State. Bulldogs were 1-11 last year, trying to complete the second-best turnaround in FBS history. And now Kevin Puryear at the line after Kipper Nichols picked up his third personal. And Puryear, you mentioned it earlier, Tom, they got to get him going. That's just his third point tonight.
They really do. His abilities right now, they're putting so much attention on him, and he's done a fantastic job of exerting a lot of energy defensively. He's got to look for his offense a little bit. Get him in a high post drive, get him on the block, get him in a handoff, get him a little bit of space and movement, because he's a veteran and he knows what's at stake.
Frazier driving and a foul. That'll go on Terrence Phillips, his third. Illinois has been able to get its points primarily at the free throw line here in the second half. It certainly has not been from the field. They've only got a couple of field goals, but they've been able to make their free throws. As Trent Frazier sinks that one, he's got 13 tonight.
Actually, with the way the bench is shortened for Missouri in this situation, for both teams to be at the foul line, it allows them a little bit of chance to rest, because they've exerted so much energy in coming back in this game. Look at them on those shorts. And they're in really good shape. There's no doubt about that. But they've exerted so much energy and intensity in this comeback. And they're going to need their second win here to finish this game if they're going to get back and make it even a little closer.
And to your point, I think all these guys came in a little bit amped up just from the game and the atmosphere and what this means, the bragging rights.
Well, the one thing as a coach you want, no matter what, you want to be in charge of the details and make sure that your team is as focused as they can be on the things that they have to do with the passing, the defense. The emotion takes care of itself.
And now a foul coming up. Jeremiah Tillman went in. Trent Frazier was trying to get the offensive foul call, but to no avail.
Went down early, didn't turn into him. I think it's a good call. Now, got to be ready to rebound. Jeremiah Tillman's played a lot of minutes. He's a 50% free throw shooter. And everybody's got to be in position if this ball comes off.
Michael Finke got in for the rebound, but the second one coming here for Tillman.
I'd like to see him slow his form down. He shoots it so quick, and he's made so many improvements in his poise. He needs a little more poise at the foul line. That's a good one.
Right on it. And Tillman now 5 points in his first bragging rights game.
Now, we haven't seen any high post cuts in the last little bit.
10 to shoot for Illinois. LaRon Black, the long jumper, no. Loose on the floor, Tillman's got it. Harris has that one swiped away, but a foul is called on Illinois. That'll go on Aaron Jordan, his first. And it brings us to a timeout. Brad Underwood and the Illini hanging on to a 10-point lead under 8 minutes left in St. Louis. Illinois a 56-46 lead with 7:54 to go here in the second half at St. Louis. And you can see the influence of Brad Underwood, now 3 teams in 3 years, and the way his teams play. And Mizzou saw Stephen F. Boston just earlier this week.
Without a doubt, and here's why. They bring pressure all the way around. And to have an influence on all 3 of these teams, and now to be bringing it to Illinois. The pressure defense, the overplaying the passing lanes, pressure on the ball. All right, pressure on the inbounds, forcing you higher than you want to catch the ball and forcing you out even further. That's Brad Underwood defense, and that's the reason they have this lead. They brought it from the very beginning.
Brad Underwood, the head coach at Stephen F. Boston a couple of years ago, and was able to take them to the NCAA tournament multiple times. Then last year taking Oklahoma State to the big dance, and now in his first year at the University of Illinois.
Yeah, some people have the residual effect of the program that they just left. Brad is rare. He's got the residuals on 3. The 2 that he left in Stephen F. Austin, Oklahoma State, and certainly now with Illinois. Just a matter of time at Illinois.
Blake Harris at the free throw line, knocks down the first. 7 points tonight. Mizzou trying to creep ever closer after they were down 20 at halftime. Harris cans them both. Trent Frazier now for Illinois, which leads by only 8. 7 to shoot. LaRon Black in on Puryear. The fadeaway jumper no good. And it's tipped back down the floor, and Puryear racing to get it, but he stepped on the line out of bounds.
Tough shot. LaRon Black has been put in a couple of tough situations with jumpers that are just not him. And really what it starts, and we've got to watch as this game goes on, Frazier has got to do a better job of putting his defender, in this case Blake Harris, in the ball screen. Because he's not taking that extra dribble to set him up, and that's become an issue. It's become an issue in the high post. It's become an issue on the side like we just had.
And now a foul away from the ball. That's on Jeremiah Tillman trying to get position. His second. Tillman tonight, of course, had committed to Illinois, reopened his recruitment when John Gross was let go at Illinois, and then Brad Underwood came in, decided to sign with Conzo Martin, and Missouri Tigers, certainly a focal point for a lot of fans going into this game. LaRon Black, the veteran, has had a better game tonight, 17 for Illinois.
Well, down 8 with 3 freshmen on the floor. They're going to grow up in a hurry the rest of this game.
Harris getting into the paint. The kick, Robertson for 3. No good. And Aaron Jordan races to grab that rebound. Mizzou as a team has been a very good three-point shooting team, almost 40% this season. Tonight they are 3 for 20 from beyond the arc. And now Frazier off target. Allstork the second chance. No. On a third opportunity, got it knocked away. And now a foul on Illinois. Trent Frazier picks up his third. Do you think there was contact here?
Well, there's no question there's contact. There's a ton of contact. And this becomes, I thought that was the foul right there. But the referee felt like he got his hand on it. I think when you go down like that, I think that's a foul. I think Brad has a point. It's a very physical game. And again, the free throw line is in play for both teams. You want to make sure you're rewarded when you're down in that paint. It has been a fist fight in that lane from the very beginning of the night, and I don't think anything's going to change in the last 6 minutes, 20 seconds.
Well, Mizzou has benefited from the free throw line, as we mentioned, because Cassius Robertson sinks the first. They haven't had a field goal, the Tigers, in almost 6 minutes, but they keep creeping closer and closer in this one. And now DeMonte Williams fouled on the way in.
Very good call, and he sold it with the head fake. Very good call. Very good call by Brad Underwood.
Cassius
Watch
Robertson.
the cut. They do a great job of moving on the pass. He feels the contact early, sells it with his head, and it was a foul, but he put the exclamation point on it with the head fake.
And Williams can't hit the free throw, but it goes out of bounds off of Porter.
Somewhere a player that we all know well from Maryland, Mello Trimble, is sitting back right now saying, I know that move. So we had a few of those called on us in our time at Indiana.
And now the inbound to Michael Finke. Smith into the paint. No good. Ball loose. And Mizzou's got it. Harris has it taken away by Frazier. And now Harris called for the foul. The crowd reacted because Harris on his way down the floor looked like he traveled.
But look at Frazier. Look at the hustle by Frazier to get back in this play. LeRon Black slows him down. Frazier never gave up on the play. I know he's a freshman. That is a major veteran move right there. That's Brad Underwood defense.
And now we'll see if Frazier is rewarded for that defense as he goes to the line. Trent just a 63% free throw shooter this season, but he is 4 for 4 at the stripe tonight. The last 6 bragging rights games have been decided by less than 10 points.
His misses usually come what we call a short arm, where he doesn't get his release all the way through and hold his follow through. Sometimes he has a tendency to pull that release out rather than hold it all the way up into the rim. Tonight he's done a fantastic job of it.
Ted Valentine finding something on the floor. All cleaned up. And now Frazier will have his opportunities here. It was once a 20-point lead for Illinois, and now it is 6. The Illini, to extend their lead, will need to convert at the line.
He finished that one out to the side. He's got to put his hand right through the rim.
That time he did.
He did. Last one was out. It's just in any game, but especially in a game like this, everything matters. Every shot, every free throw, because it's going to come down to that, the way this game is moving.
Phillips for 3. And the rebound to Michael Finke.
They need to get Mark Smith loose. Barnett has done a good job guarding him.
And inside, the miss from Illinois, and back the other way comes Mizzou. Phillips thought about the 3 again, but then traveled. Sports Center with Bucci and Anderson. They will let you know the impact of the Ravens-Colts matchup, what it had on the AFC playoff race, plus Baker Mayfield on why Georgia's defense will be an enormous challenge in the Rose Bowl. And the Warriors are going for 12 in a row before their Christmas Day showdown with the Cavs. What's behind their success without Steph Curry? Sports Center, 10:30 Eastern after Appalachian State Toledo on ESPN and the ESPN app. 21 turnovers on Mizzou, a season high. And now Illinois will try to convert. Frazier against Jonte Porter. LeRon Black for 3. Gets it to go. 7-point Illinois lead. Now the answer from Robertson is good.
Rivalry game. That's what happens. The pressure's there, the intensity's there, guys stepping up, making shots. The improvement of LaRon Black with range is really, really good. When he gets his feet down like that, good things happen for him.
Ten to shoot now for Illinois, under 4 minutes left. Finke. Frazier with 2, with 1, all the way to the rim, no good. Jonte Porter for 3. And the rebound to Black. That would have brought the house down.
Oh, you got to admire his confidence. I like that.
Jonte Porter, just a 31% three-point shooter. Had a good look. Could not convert. Smith. In around the trays. The reverse is good.
I said it 2 weeks ago when at UNLV in Illinois, one of the best layup makers I've ever seen in high school. Mark Smith, great job of getting to the other side of the rim.
Jonte Porter, another try. Can't hit. Mark Smith, real smooth on that last lay-in. Illinois extends the lead back to 9. And now Smith going in, but a foul is called. Great crowd here in St. Louis. And Illinois, a 62-53 lead with 2:49 to go in the bragging rights game in St. Louis. Illinois extends the lead back to 9. And now Smith going in, but a foul is called. Great crowd here in St. Louis. And Illinois, a 62-53 lead with 2:49 to go in the bragging rights game in St. Louis. Michael Finke tonight, 3 of 5 at the free throw stripe.
Well, Missouri, I'm feeling like there's still plenty of time. Just cannot have empty possessions. Cannot have live ball turnovers. Got to get a chance, get a good shot, look inside, get your drive and kick game going, and be on the glass.
Robertson for 3. Good. Cassius Robertson with a big shot. And Mizzou creeping closer. Back to a 7-point contest with 2:20 to go. Illinois led by 20 at halftime. But Mizzou has controlled a lot of the play here in this second half tonight. Frazier scores and a foul. Tremendous move by Trent Frazier.
Sets him up. We talked about the ball screen. He clipped the guard. They got the switch. He got under the defender, which is not easy to do when you have Tillman. But the key, he got it high off the glass. When he uses the backboard, he is a very, very effective player.
Jeremiah Tillman picking up his 3rd personal, and Trent Frazier to the line. 17 points tonight He scored at least 13 in each of the last 4 games.
We talked earlier about the hope shot. The hope shot is when you throw the ball up and you really don't use the backboard. You got to have an aim. All right, he aimed for the high backboard and he finished with his eyes. That is so important.
Robertson all the way to the basket. And a timeout taken by Konzo Martin. And let's go back to the studio now with Kevin Connors. Thank you very much. New Mexico State was the last game that Illinois played, a loss in Chicago last Saturday, and tonight a real good one. Illinois leading by 8. But you see the Illini talking things over right now, and Konzo Martin called that timeout. What do you think these coaches are telling their teams?
Well, right now, okay, in the case of Brad, they cannot have a turnover. They cannot have a live ball turnover. They got to be strong with the ball. All right, it's not time to foul yet, but that time could be coming. And they've got to make sure they get a good shot, and they've got to have good balance, not only at the backboards, but in getting back. In Konzo's case, they want to keep bringing that pressure. They don't want to put him on the foul line too early right here. There's still enough time. There's just under 2 minutes. It's an 8-point game, but you cannot let them have layups like that. You cannot let them have anything that is even remotely close to an open shot.
Right now the refs taking a look. This is a 3 from Robertson at the top of the key.
Looks good to me.
Yeah. Looks like he's behind the line there. They wanted to double check. And it is a 3. Can't be too careful in these shots down the stretch.
No, absolutely. They've gone to the monitor early. These 3 referees, they've got great judgment, but they're going to trust the monitor as well, and that's what you would hope from a referee.
We were talking about LeRon Black earlier. Last year, he did not score in this bragging rights game against Mizzou. Tonight, he's got 12 to lead Illinois.
Well, Brad Underwood gave him too much credit. He said he had 4 points last year in this game. He had 0. LeRon Black has answered the call tonight. He has played like a real veteran leader, and he did so many good things for John Gross. John Gross did a really good job developing him over time. And right now, Brad Underwood has taken the next step with him, helping him improve. He's gotten better offensively with his jump shot, but he's playing defensively at another gear right now.
Just over 90 seconds left in his 37th bragging rights game. Brent Frazier going in on Tillman, and there's the block. But LeRon Black rips it down, and another block by Tillman.
Big play. They still don't have to foul. Oh.
And this time Phillips gets a hand on Tijon Lucas. That's 4 on Terrence Phillips.
Again, big time rebound. Big time rebound. Black is in position. I mean, he will not be denied. I know that sounds like a cliche, but that is exactly how he has played all night long.
Big free throw miss from Tijon Lucas, who's been dealing with foul trouble tonight. He's got 4 personals.
It's not only the free throw now, it's the free throw rebounding.
They can't get either one to fall. Harris racing across. Robertson. No, but Tillman there for the tip back. 6-point game with a minute to go.
Can't foul now. Got to play it out.
10 to shoot for Illinois. Frazier with 5. Around the Black screen. The shot too strong. Robertson now into the paint. And out of bounds.
Jordan, the transition defense With everything that's going on in this game, the last two possessions, the way the Illini have gotten back, not only stopped the ball, but got to the corners to take away that quick three. That's outstanding defense.
And now a timeout. Conzo Martin wants to talk things over with his team. Illinois up by 6 with 28.3 seconds left. If you want to see New Mexico State and Miami, that game is going on ESPN News right now. And it'll be on ESPN2 following the conclusion of our game here in St. Louis. Illinois 66-60 the lead on Mizzou with 28.3 seconds left. And when you get a game like this, Tom, bragging rights, it's got to come down to the end like this, right?
Well, no doubt about it. We couldn't have drawn it up any better as for the two of us, for our whole crew, for the fans. But right now, the Missouri Tigers are still in this game. I would think they're going to come out of this out-of-bounds set, look to get a back cut with Barnett. If they don't get anything, the play right now that he pushed off earlier, they'll run a play. If they don't get anything at the basket, they've got to score quickly. They don't have to score in a sense where they've got to rush a shot, but they want to get the foul, get to the foul line so they can set their defense. They want to get there as quick as possible. They definitely don't need a three yet. They need to get a basket, and the basket either comes somewhere around the rim or it comes at the foul line. And if they get a wide open three because they overhelped, that's fine too. But the key is that they get something good and they don't let the clock trickle down too far under a minute before they get that shot up.
Both these teams are very young, Tom. Is there anything in particular you think these coaches have to say just to keep them calm in this moment?
Well, you got to remind them to do just that. Breathe. All right? You've got to breathe. You've got to take deep breaths. But if you're the Illini right now, they don't want to get caught on a foul on one of these cuts. They don't want to get called for a reaching foul. Make the Missouri Tigers take a tough challenge shot, whether it's a 2 or 3. Just make sure it's challenged and make sure you're rebounding and guard rebounding.
Inbound comes to Puryear. And Kevin Puryear, the quick bucket, makes it a 4-point game. Shot clock is off with 26 seconds left. And pressure immediately, but a foul.
This atmosphere, Jordan, I've been in some Sweet 16s. This atmosphere wouldn't take a backseat to any of them. It really wouldn't. Everybody's invested. The people are excited about it. It's coming down to the wire, and it's coming down to this free throw line. And then this is where everything comes alive, okay? If you miss the free throw, are you going to get the rebound? Are you going to block out? And then as Missouri comes down, they still have time. They still don't need a three-point shot.
Trent Frazier hits the first free throw at 20 points against Longwood a couple of games ago. That was his season high. But if he hits this next free throw, that will tie him for his season high as a freshman here at Illinois.
Right now, we'll look for something down the middle of the floor where they can get to the rim or get a kick out for the three. The key is not to take the challenge shot.
Illinois back up 6, Tom.
And it plays into their hands because they get to set the defense and they get to guard it full court. Get a screen in the middle of the floor.
Mizzou needs a quick basket.
They've got Tillman underneath.
Barnett. Now 15 seconds left. Robertson a 3. No good. Rebounded by Phillips. He'll hoist from deep. That's short. And a rebound, Illinois, and a foul coming up on Phillips. Brad Underwood and the orange and blue sensing their 5th straight win in the bragging rights game. And the Missouri Tigers, Jonte Porter and company, a very talented young team. 10-2 as we speak. But if this is their 3rd loss, certainly it's to a team in Illinois with the arrow pointing up.
Well, they've earned it. They really have, because they took Missouri's best shot in this second half defensively. And Conzo Martin will be able to show the film and show that they did not have nearly the spirit, tenacity, and energy defensively that they needed to have at the beginning of this game. And the Illini were able to play through it.
Illinois led by 20 at halftime. A big dunk with 2 seconds left from Harris, but not nearly enough. And the Illinois Fighting Illini win the bragging rights game for the 5th straight time, 70-64. Coming up next, it's New Mexico State and Miami in the Hawaii Airlines Diamond Head Classic. For Todd Crean, I'm Jordan Burnfield. Let's get you out to Hawaii. Good night from St. Louis.